Hey guys, so as you can see, got our door panel right here with our piece of fabric on top that we're going to be using the resin on. Had to cut out a little more of the door panel just to make it fit a little bit better, mostly just on the passenger side, but either way, had to cut that out. So I just went ahead and did it on both sides, mostly because this right here was bumping out a lot, so it's going to come out right here and then pretty much be flat as opposed to continually going out and then coming back in, because right back over here where it was angling back in, I was having an issue with it hitting the box and making a really loud vibration. And then we have the other door panel right here, did the same thing too. We have our tweeter up here, mid-range down here, and then just door panel. What we're going to be doing is obviously going through and fiberglassing the entire door panel. Well, not necessarily the entire thing, but first step is we got to take a staple gun, which we have right over here. I've used glue for this before, but it's super hard to do that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our fabric, putting it like on the side, well, kind of behind the door panel right here, wrapping it around, and then we're going to be stapling it onto wherever we want like the curves to be. So what we're going to be doing, for example, is we're going to be stapling it onto the back side right over here, stapling it probably right around here, like right here around the corner, this edge right here. And then we're going to go up, staple it all around the speaker. Right here, we're going to staple it right at the bottom here, going along with this. So we're going to have like a nice little detail coming along with this way. Probably staple it again right here so we get that same arch. And keep it going up this way. We're going to cut the fiberglass or bring it behind here most likely. I'm not 100% though, because we are going to have to cut this out as well. So we're going to kind of figure it out. I'm going to do it piece by piece, which is why I cut the initial like cloth that I'm going to be using. I cut it the size of the door panel so I can cut it where I need to and make minor adjustments as I go along. Hey guys, so as you can see, I got most of the fabric laid out already. I just need to finish up this area right over here, as well as, obviously I'm going to cut these speaker pods out. But I'm going to wait until I do at least the first layer of resin. Same thing with that one. See, I got all this done. Got this cut out coming through here. And, a lot of this stuff you're not going to see especially once it's resined, because it's going to fill in a lot of these gaps and fill in missing areas. I just need to make sure that this is covered as much as possible so I can give it a base to sit on. But yeah, this is the process that we're at right now. I just need to go ahead and trim this up just a little bit more. What I think we're going to be doing for this is just running like a piece of tape right there so I don't block off the weather seal, because I can't get this weather seal off on these doors. Sometimes you can get them off, sometimes you can't. But either way, some of this, it's still going to be like a black and purple design, which I'm pretty excited about. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do it, but it's going to get done. I'm just going to go ahead, got to glue a couple things down, some of these seams. But where I ran out, just going to glue those just down straight like that, and it'll be perfect. Haven't even started the other one yet. Reason why I haven't done too much of me showing you guys how to do this is I honestly just kind of figured a lot of this out just as I was going for myself. Start from like one corner and work your way towards the other corner, like diagonally. That is definitely the best way to do it from what I figured out so far. Because you can kind of stretch, start from, let's say, this speaker pod and just kind of stretch everything out going across. Makes it much easier as opposed to trying to go straight up this side right here or that side, because then once you go down the middle, you'll have a bunch of folds and seams. But I hope you guys are liking this so far. I think these speaker pods are coming out nicely so far. You can't really see a lot of like the detail in like some of these areas I put in there because of all the different colors, but you'll be able to see it much better once it's resined. We're doing like 3 or 4 layers of resin on this, and then on the back side right here where we cut this out, we're going to be doing another few layers of resin as well as some actual fiberglass. Alright guys, so what I was talking about like earlier in the video, what you're going to want to do is make sure it's all stretched out like that. And then start along some edge. I'm starting on this edge of the panel just because it'll be a lot easier. I'm gonna go ahead, throw some staples in there. And like before, it's okay if they're not perfectly in there because we are gonna be taking all of these staples out Shit, is it out of the staples already? Before I ran out of staples, you're going to want to go along the first edge. This is just the edge I'm using. It doesn't really, really matter at all what edge you use. Just make sure you don't get any folds in it. Put a bunch of staples in it. Like I said, we are going to be taking all of these staples out after the first layer of resin. Maybe after the second. But it's just temporary, so it doesn't have to be all the way in there. It just has to be enough for it to be able to, hold it in place. And that's all you really want to do at first. You want to take your fabric, spread it all across the panel. Now is where we really start to shape out the actual speaker pods, and it starts to take the shape of a door panel once again. So we're going to go ahead and put another staple down there at the bottom, so we can have some decent room to work with. Now, as you guys can see, as we pull this tighter right here along this side here, it starts really taking shape. So we're going to go into the wood right there. We're going to go all along the speaker ring right here with our staples. It's going a lot quicker this time too, since I kind of figured out a good way to do this. This took me a really long time the first time, but I wanted to make sure that it came out good and everything. This is what I'm talking about here. You want to make sure you don't get ripples like this. So you might have to stretch the fabric, do something to get rid of them. But you can usually figure out some way to be able to move the fabric to be able to get rid of them. And then we're going to be doing the same thing on this side. Just going through, just stapling it. So as you can see, it ended up working all of the imperfections in the fabric out. Now we just about have this side done. We're going to come back to this little corner here in just a minute, because we want to kind of go along the side just a little bit. As you can see, if we were to start going along the bottom right here, we're just pretty much flatten that out. And this is what I was talking about before, where you kind of want to go in like a diagonal kind of, just makes it a lot easier, because now we can just pull this flat, and now we have just about a perfect area for our speaker to be seated in. And it has this really nice contour that you see on a lot of like professional installs. Alright, and that's it for that corner. Now we're going to start kind of working our way out towards the middle of the panel. And with this, I'm just trying to give you guys kind of an idea, because every single door, every single panel is going to be different from the last. So I don't want you guys thinking that there's only one way to do this. There's plenty of ways to do this, but this is just kind of a general guideline of what you want to stick to while you're doing this. And if you are having issues with this bunching up right here, just kind of pull it back, and if you want, put a staple through the other side. Doesn't really make a difference as long as you make sure it's not like that once you actually go to do your resin. Guys, so as you can see, we do have a little bit of a seam right here. Best way to get rid of that, though, from showing at the end, is find somewhere where you can staple them right together, just like that, and then one more like right there. Reason why you want to do it like this is so once you actually put the resin on it, this will all kind of shrink together, and you won't actually be able to see the difference in them at all. It's going to go right together, not going to be able to even tell at all that this was ever a seam. And as you can see, we're starting to make some progress. We have this little area done, all of this done going up to the speaker rings. Now what we have to do is we have to bring this out a little bit farther, so we can end up cutting this out for the 6x8 speaker, just like we did here. And of course, this isn't going to be left like this. This is going to be taped up, going along part of this and up here, and it's going to look good in the end, I promise. Just have some faith. Alright guys, so as you can see, comparing the two door panels right here, they do have similar shapes going on, which is the main thing. Like, this is my first time doing this, so I didn't expect this shit to be perfect. The only thing I really need to fix on this side is this little gap right here. Cut a little too much of the fabric off. So what we're just going to do is just take another piece, bring it right here, and then just glue it up just like we did on the other one. And other than that, just got to get this last side done right over here. But as you can see, this is, we got this over here. But it is taking shape. It does look like a door panel again. Like I said, once this gets all resined up and everything, it's going to be flat to this. You're not going to notice any of this, like, in and out kind of right there. Alright guys, so today we're doing the first layer of resin over the cloth on the door panels. As you can see, I just got the first one done here. It's sitting here on the chair hardening, because, well, that's what it does. And we got the second one. My hair's like, oh, I can't touch it. We got the second one down over here. I'm going to do this one on camera for you guys, show you how to do it. Just got to go ahead, add the hardener, and we can get started. And we're going to start over by the 6.5 speaker pod cutout thing, just because that's what we did on the other one, and it worked out pretty nicely. So exactly the same thing is what we did when we made the beauty panels for walling off the vehicle. You just got to really get it on here, and like I showed you guys in the part where I was stapling all of this and getting this all done, I was showing you guys, you got to get it tight, and this is why. So we can just go ahead, brush this on here, not have to worry about it. And we're going to be using the same exact paint that we used for the box on these door panels, as well as a little bit of purple. But by having it, with the oil-based paint, it's going to make it really durable, as well as be able to cover up a lot of like the minor mistakes that we might have in our doors. So it's not that big of a deal. And like this part going over the part for the 6x8, we're just going to be going through and cutting this once we're done. Like I said, same thing, pretty simple. You just got to really get it on there and make sure you use enough resin, as well as enough hardener. Don't worry about being too generous with this stuff, because it's just going to pay back for you in strength. And we are going to be adding some actual fiberglass as well, not just fiberglass resin. But on the front right here, the reason why we're doing it this way is so we get it really nice and smooth. And then, like I was saying when we were putting these staples in, we're going to be taking these out probably maybe after the first coat, maybe the second coat, we'll see. Haven't really decided yet. But some of these staples we will be leaving in there. Just if they're actually in there nice and all the way, we'll be leaving it in there, just to make it a little bit easier, considering you won't see it at all. As you can see, we're just really throwing this resin on there. Don't have to really worry about being neat, as long as there's not like a specific area you don't want to get it. In our case, this is all getting painted, and we can touch it up if need be. So we really just want to get it on there and make sure it's really as strong as possible is what we're looking for out of this, is just straight strength. Because when we're playing, we don't want to crack our doors, or maybe have a speaker not work properly because our door panels aren't strong enough. So as you can see, we just pretty much ran out of resin. Throw the last little bit of it on here. Wanted to let this harden up before I get in this area right here too much. Let's finish that up right there, and that should be all good for right there. Just gotta dump the resin in there, and then we just gotta dump the hardener in there.
This is a very specific calculation.
I know, right? I'm good at measuring.
Just get a little Chinese takeout cup, pour it in there.
What? Oh yeah, is this from Chinese takeout? I mean, it works. Now we're gonna get back to, oh shit, I just dropped a whole bunch of it, damn it.
Oh, it's fucking up the grass.
Fuck the grass.
Tell your grandmother that.
I can't believe I just fucking did that. Well, I think she would rather me do it over the grass than on the cement.
Why didn't you put a drop cloth down?
I don't want to mess up my drop cloth. The grass grows back.
Why did you kill it?
It'll grow back eventually. We have gardeners for a reason. But you just really want to get it on here. So, it's not really all too complicated. It's just making sure that you do all the like prep stuff correctly is, you know, what really comes down to it. And this right here, we plan on cutting a bunch of that up anyway, so that's not really that big of a deal that it's not going down all the way. It'd be a little bit easier if it was, but it's all right. Should back up, homie. Resin mixed up. Like, it's really not complicated to mix this stuff, so I didn't really feel the need to show you guys yet again. But yeah, this is the area that we're going over right now where there is nothing on the backing. So that's why we're getting a little bit more pulling. But part of what this resin does is really tightens this fabric as well. So it's gonna tighten right up, and you're not gonna be able to tell, as well as we are putting some actual fiberglass behind this to make sure it's gonna stay nice and strong and not just deteriorate quickly over time. Wanna make sure these doors last for freaking ever. So if we're going a little bit overkill, that's why. You know, I don't wanna have to redo these doors every few years or something. I wanna do them once and have them done. Maybe, you know, in the future I'll get bored and want to redo them. Maybe I get better at like fiberglassing or something. I could do something cooler, fully make door panels from scratch, which I think would be pretty cool. But this is what we're doing for now, though. And I mean, you guys could see it's coming out good.
So why is there a little like spot on this thing that you didn't do all the way?
That's getting cut out.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where the 6.5 is going.
Okay.
All right, now we just got to pick this up, do it around the edges, and we're gonna be all good. And we can just let it sit back, dry for a few hours. Hopefully it won't smell too much, so I can bring them in the house without it like there being like a terrible smell. Because this stuff smelled up the inside of my car when we were walling it off for a while, which kind of sucked a little bit. Honestly, I didn't really mind it too much, but Kayla freaking hated it.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You're just a little picky brat. We're gonna just finish up this little corner on the 6.5.
You're flinging that shit at me.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. And just do this side up really well. Make sure it's on there nice and good. And if anybody has any questions about maybe their own project or something they're looking into, definitely be sure to let me know. I'll try to answer it if I can. I mean, I think I know a lot about this kind of stuff, so if there's something I could help you with, I'd rather, you know, see the question and have you ask than not see it, you know. I want to help you homies out. Okay. Just got to do the top as well as the other side. We do have to be a little bit careful over here because we do have the weather strip, but I don't think we'll have an issue with getting the resin off of that. Gotta flip it around one more time, and I just want to go over parts of this one more time because this is, you know, where it's held in to the side where it's all been cut out, and I think that's pretty good. Just gonna go through, just put just a little bit more on in a few spots where I may have missed or didn't get too much resin down. Like right over here by the tweeter cutout. Missed a little spot. And I don't know, I'm not gonna go ahead and do the back. I was thinking about it, but I'm not gonna do the back right now. I'm gonna wait until it fully dries. I'm just gonna set this right up on the chair, let it dry for a couple hours, and then we're gonna be doing a, I gotta move my hair. We're gonna be doing a second and a third coat of this. Probably not gonna have it on video, but I will show you guys what it looks like when it's done before we go ahead and do the painting and start cutting some of this stuff out. We're probably gonna be taking the staples out after the second layer, but we'll see how it is after the first. Maybe we'll go ahead and take them out. And I guess that's really it. So hey guys, as you can see, we got the door panels, you know, laid out right over here. 2 coats of resin over here on the front of the doors, as well as 1 coat of resin here on the back. You can see I went through this entire seam, make it nice and strong. And yeah, I mean, we got, you know, the speakers all cut out. We test fitted them again. They, you know, all fit. We got it traced out right over here. where our 6x8 speakers are gonna be. And you know, like all this right here, this is just gonna be getting covered up because that doesn't really make a difference. We are gonna be blocking it just a little bit, but the tweeters will be able to come out. And this one we gotta, you know, bring up here a little bit more. This is gonna be bondoed off, so we're just gonna see the holes right here, and of course it's getting painted and everything. But I really just wanted to show you guys for the end of the video. You know, got the sides all done nicely. We got it all trimmed up. We just got to go ahead, sand some of these edges down, as well as do a couple minor little things like you guys can see right over here, this little edge right there. We got to trim that off a little bit of this standoff, just a little bit. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're probably just gonna maybe take like a drill and just kind of go off on it for a little bit, because we need to get this panel back in there. This panel fits, but on both the doors we need to adjust this just slightly so we can get this panel in and sitting in there nicely, so our door handle and switch for the lights add up. Alright guys, so I definitely hope you did enjoy the video of doing the door panels. Part 2. Part 3 is going to be coming in part 3. What we're going to be doing is really showing how to fiberglass the back of it, as well as doing the bondo, because at the top seam of the door panel where the weather seal is, we're going to have to bondo that. Bondo around the 6x8 speaker and some of the seams going up where it may have folded a little bit, or you can still see the staple through it. So that's going to be the next episode. Fourth episode, it's going to be painting. Then, you know, we can slap our speakers in there. Hopefully by then we'll have our Scar audio amplifier and we can, you know, get these doors playing. So as always, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that cool shit you guys do for me here on YouTube. This is Rob and I'm out. Peace, guys. I hope you enjoyed.